We got some breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, in the sport of boxing, and we about to talk about it. I'm your host, KJ the Great. Welcome back. If you're returning, thank you for tuning in again. If you're new here, why don't you slide on down and hit that subscribe button for your brother. Now let's talk about it. Former IBF super middleweight champion Caleb Plant announced today that he will be back in the ring August 17th against Trevor Mccumby. Oh, yeah. Caleb, Sweet Hand Plant, 22 wins, 2 losses, no draw, 13 wins by way of knockout. Last time he was in the ring, he faced off against the Mexican monster himself, none other than David Benavidez. And boy, was that a tough outing for him. I thought that was going to be a tough fight, and it was just that, a tough fight. Early on, you know how Caleb Plant is. He's slick, fast hands. He moves well. He can put his combinations together. Not always a lot of power behind it, but he'll put that and then he'll slip out and go. Um, that's pretty much what he was doing for about the first, let me say, first 4 to 6, 5 rounds. But somewhere in that fourth round, when we was talking about it, I seen it, and David Benavidez spoke about it after the fight. That he ended up catching Caleb Plant with a body shot and kind of knocked the air out of him, put him on his bicycle a little bit, and from pretty much there on, it was a pummeling session, man. I like Caleb Plant. I like David Benavidez, and it's tough when I see two fighters I like gotta fight each other. But this is the sport of boxing. That's the name of the game. The best fight the best, and they put it out all on the line. Now, one thing we must mention in that fight is I believe Caleb Plant would have got stopped had he not been allowed to hold excessively. Now, a lot of people's like, oh, well, he was just trying to do it. No, he was holding. I'm a fan of him, and I call it like I see it. He was holding excessively. Every time David Benavidez catches him with a big shot, boom, 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 he was holding. He could have went down several times late in that fight. Um, Referee Kenny Bayless, who is now retired, well wishes to life after boxing for him. Um, he just allowed it. Nobody knows why, but we're not saying it was he was trying to help him or none of that. We're not going to even go there. I won't ever go there. But it is what it is. Before that though, Caleb Plant, he did get the knockout of the year over Anthony Durrell, and his style has switched up a great deal, and he's added a lot to his game ever since he's been with Stephen Breadman Edwards, and it's one of those things where he was pushing him to do things different, change up his rhythm, change up the way he throws his punches, just switch up the timing. And that's pretty much how he caught Anthony Durrell with that punch. One down to the body, one upstairs. And typically with Caleb Plant, it'll be boom, boom. But he told him to switch it up to a boom, boom, in which it opened up perfectly. And man, he flatlined that guy almost. It was what it looked like. Now, Trevor Mccumby, don't know a whole lot about him. But for him, as far as opponents and experience level, this will be a step up in class. He's 28 wins, no losses, no draws, 21 wins by way of knockout. So he has some power. I looked up his last fight against Christopher Pearson. He got a unanimous decision in that fight, but prior to that, he was coming off of the hems of the back of 2 KOs. No really big name opponents that I've seen on his resume. So, like I said, this is more of a step up in class for him to challenge and see where he's at if he can break into that next level. Um, the only problem that I would have with this fight, man, is if Caleb Plant loses, um, he would be almost he would be further out of title contention, but almost full blown into the journeyman conversation at that point. And I would hate to see that for somebody as skilled as he is and as good as he is. Um, if the belts were dispersed, he will be good enough to probably pick up another belt. become a two-time super middleweight champion. Um, but right now, we all know that Canelo Alvarez is holding those belts hostage because he's scared of David Benavidez. Y'all know how that goes. We won't get into that. But nonetheless, I still think he's good. I still think he has a lot in the tank. He's what, 31, 32 years old, something like that. Um, he's taking care of his body. He still wants some big fights out there if some fights can be made. You know, he did talk about a potential rematch with Canelo Alvarez. He has to work his way back into that. There was a talks of a potential showdown with Demetrius Boo Boo Andritt, who made his super middleweight debut. Not sure if he's gonna stick around at that weight. He might move back down to 160. Don't know. But that's a big fight for Caleb Plant if he gets through this fight as well. So August 17th, it's going down. Who do you guys see in this fight? I will revisit this, give you my prediction. Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys. Peace.